Before we begin, there's a few things that you should be aware of. If you're doing a SIMnet project that is auto-graded, always use the SIMnet project instructions and the start file in the SIMnet project area. That's what you see on the screen right here. It's really important that you get your instructions right from there. Secondly, if you're doing a project that is not auto-graded, such as pause and practice, we highly encourage that you use the instructions in the sim book rather than the printed book if you have it, because the sim book project instructions are always up to date. And then lastly, there are slight differences between Office 365 and 2019. The book and project instructions are written in Office 365, and where differences exist, they'll be noted in the project instructions or in the sim book. Okay, let's begin. Step 1 has us download the start file, and that's what you see right here. There are also some resources that you're going to need for this particular project, and we're going to download them right now. So let's download the start file. I'm on Chrome, so it's going to show up down here, and I'll actually open that up. And I'll click Enable Editing so I can work with this. But before we get into the actual steps, I'd like to talk about the resources. You're going to have to download a few things. There's a few files that you're going to need in later steps. So what I'm going to do is click on resources here. And on my PC using Chrome, it ends up over here and it ends up in my downloads folder. I believe Firefox ends up in the upper right. If you have any questions about downloading resources, you can click on the question mark in the upper right, then click on SIMnet Help. You should see a button on the left-hand side that says resources, and then you can read about downloading resources and extracting them. It's very important that you extract the resources. I'm going to do something specific here. Because extracting resources can get a little bit tricky, meaning it's easy to do, but sometimes you get lost where they are, I've created a folder on my desktop called SIMnet Downloads. And that's where I'm going to put the extracted files. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to head over to Downloads. This is where the resources are. And I need to right-click, and I need to click Extract All. And then it says, where would you like the extracted files to go to? Well, I could put them right where it is, but sometimes that's a weird place. Sometimes it puts it right back in the original downloads folder. Sometimes it could be somewhere else. So I'm going to go through and look for that SIMnet downloads folder. And this is where I'm going to put those extracted files. And I already did this once before, so it's asking me if I'd like to replace it. You won't see the screen. And now there are two files in here that we can use on a later step. And once again, if you have any questions, click on the Help button in the upper right. Okay, let's begin with step 2. We need to display slide 2. Then we need to select the bulleted items. Then on the Home tab, I'm going to click Bullets, Bullet and Numbering, and I'm going to go rather fast because I know this project. You may want to take your time. Feel free to stop the video. I need to change the size to 80 and the color to orange accent 6. Then I'm going to click Customize. Now there are a lot of different types of fonts for symbols, a ton. And what you need to do is scroll down till you see wingdings. Sometimes a little hard to do. You can actually use the up and down arrows to get you there. It's wingdings 3. I'm going to select it, and then I know they want this particular arrow. It's black right pointing pointer. If I click on it though, I'm on Wingdings 3 and I can see that it's code 117. If I click on a different one, you can see the code down here change. I need code 117. That's correct. I click OK. Looking at my instructions, all looks pretty good. I'm going to call that a win, and that completes step 2. Step 3, we're going to reuse slides from another presentation. So I'm going to click New Slide drop down up here. There's a drop down on New Slide, and I'm going to click Reuse Slides. That's going to open up this area where I can then get slides. Now this is important. I'm going to click Browse. Now I've opened up recent slides, so they're going to show up here, but you probably won't have that. So click Browse. Now you're going to have to find that folder, that area, that those extracted files that you downloaded from the resources. I know for me, I put it on my desktop so I could easily find them. If you put them somewhere else like downloads, now would be the time to grab it. You can see it's right there. I highlight it. And then it's as simple as when I click on the slide, it's going to throw it over into the main presentation. There's 3 slides, so you may have to go down. And now these slides are in my current presentation. It's a nice way to get slides from another presentation into this presentation. I'm just going to click the X button to get rid of that slide pane over there. Checking my instructions. That completes step 3. Step 4 says to organize or rearrange the slides in a particular order, starting with the Get Results with Email slide. Looks like it's up there already. Then the second one needs to start with Y. Third one is right. Fourth one, I'm sorry. The second one is ask these questions, sorry. The third one is why. The fourth one is right. The second one is organize, and the last one is keep it short. So that's good, and that completes step 5. Step 6, we're going to correct the spelling. So I'm going to click on the first slide, go up here to the review pane, spelling, and there are about, it looks like about 6 spelling errors. So I'm just going to keep clicking change. 2, 3, 4. And once I've gone through all 6, click the spelling is complete. And that completes step 5. Okay, step 6. I'm going to use the format painter to change some list bullets. This is pretty simple to do. We need to display slide 2. And they want us to use these bullets on other slides. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of this information here. Then I'm going to go up to the Home tab if you're not there already, and double click the Format Painter. Why double click? Because it's going to allow us to continue to paint or use this Format Painter. And it says use the page down button to go to the next page, although you could simply click on it over here if you like. These are first level bullets, and it wants me to highlight, and then when I release the mouse, you can see how it changes the bullet over there. It wants us to change all the first level bullets, but not the second level bullets. It says it to do it on that slide, slide 3, slide 4, and slide 5. That looks pretty good. I'm going to click the escape button to get us into regular insertion pointer mode. And that completes step 6. Step 7, it says insert a picture and apply a design. So what we're going to do is we're going to select slide 6, has the picture on the right hand side. We need to delete that picture, so click anywhere in there and I just hit the delete button and it gets rid of it. Easy enough. Next, we need to go into that same place that we downloaded those extracted resources. Once again, I created a folder so I could easily find it, but for you, it might be in your downloads. That's where a majority of the people put it. I just like to make it easy so I can't confuse it with any other pictures. Okay, and I'm going to go to Insert Pictures. And I know I saved it on my desktop under SIMnet Downloads. And I'll see the picture of that person with, it looks like a computer in front of her. Click Insert. And what should appear are these design ideas on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. And what we'll need to do is we will need to choose the one that looks like the image. You'll see it, it's figure 1-112. And let me just take a look here. Looks like it's this one right here. Then I'm going to close this design pane, and that should complete step 7. Step 8, we're going to select the picture on slide 6. It's already selected for me, but if it wasn't, you could select it. Click Alt Text. Then we need to get rid of that Alt Text in there, so I just highlight it. It should show up on the right-hand side. I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to type in new text, a new description. A person showing notebook features. And then what we want to do is close the alt text pane. We need to select the title text. I'm going to select everything, keep it short. Then we're going to change the font color. Home tab here, font colors. And we need orange accent 6. That looks pretty good. And that completes step 8. Step 9, apply one transition and effect option to all slides. I'm going to select the transitions tab. Then I'm going to choose the switch transition. I need to come down here in the exciting area. And I know that it's down here, so I select it. And it gives us a little demo of how it works. Next, we'll click effect options, choose left. Then in the timing group, I'm going to click apply to all, and that'll give it a transition between all slides. And you know that because you'll see this little symbol over here. That means there's transitions over there. That completes step 9. Step 10. Preview the presentation in both the slide sorter and slideshow views. So this allows you to play around a little bit. So what we want to do is click the slide sorter button. And down here in the lower right, there's some options. You should hover over them, notes, and then the normal view, which is what you see. But there's a slide sorter, and this is a great way to see all of your slides like this. And then it says hit Control and A at the same time. It selects them all. Then click Preview. So we're going to do that. It's up here in Transitions tab, Preview, and it'll go through really quickly and show you how it all looks. You can examine the movements there. Then I'm going to click the first slide, so just the first one, select it. I'm going to click the slideshow button. A couple different places you can find this. In the lower right is a great place. It looks like a little podium, a little lectern. Now I'm going to use the arrows to toggle through all the way through. and give it a second and it should come back out to the main view. I hit escape there to get it out to the main view. Things work much more slowly when I'm recording the video. And then if you want to get back out to the normal view, there's a couple different ways to do it, but the instructions are telling you to double click on slide 1 and that'll open up slide 1 in the regular view. And that completes step 10. We're almost done, folks. Step 11, change presentation properties. Click on the File tab. Then it wants us to head over here to Properties, and there's Advanced Properties. There's all this information here. Should be on the Summary tab. That'll probably open for you. If it doesn't, make sure it is. And then the title for me is already up there, which is great. If it wasn't, you could type it in. Next, on the subject, click Writing. My name is in there, so you put your own name. You don't put my name, but your own name. And then in the comments area, you type in what they tell you to. This presentation is for the new hire seminar. Click OK. And that completes step 11. Step 12. We're going to print the slides as a handout. This is a really handy feature, and I always tell a lot of my students, if they create a presentation, one thing they can do is print your slides as a handout, say 3, 4, 5, 6 slides on a page, just so you don't print a million slides, and then hand them out during your presentation. Let me show you how to do that right now. We need to click the print button. We're over here. I'm sure you know where this is, the file button. Print. And we're just going to go down, and you don't actually have to print this unless your instructor tells you to do so, but you do have to set it up in a particular way. So follow along. Click the appropriate printer. Mine defaults on the appropriate printer, but if not, you could select it. Go down to the next one under Settings. It says which slides to print. All slides. And then what to print, we want to choose 6 slides horizontal. And this is what I'm talking about. This is a great way to print out all your slides so people can look at them as you're presenting something. And then down the bottom, there's a couple different choices there. Let me open that back up. It says it wants frame slides and scale to fit paper. That's important. So that, make sure that's selected. And then we're going to have it print on one side, collate it, portrait, and I could choose grayscale or color. Now I'm not actually going to print it here, but like I said, you could if you were instructed or you wanted to do so for practice. And that completes step 12. Step 13 says to save and close your presentation. Step 14 says to upload and save your project. And finally, step 15 says to submit your project for grading. Best of luck, everybody.